Welcome back. Today, a large abandoned tower. I try to walk across a rusted conveyor structure, and an even bigger tower now on John's Northwest Adventures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Time lapse. It's gonna look fucking sweet.
It was the evening before our planned adventure. The sunset was distant and looking vibrant. What we are currently looking at is Silver Lake Park. To find this place, go to Maple Falls, Washington and head straight north. This place is virtually on the Canadian border and has campsites available to stay at. The place that we will be seeing soon here is on the other side of the hill next to this park. This hill is named Red Mountain, and on the west top end of it is an abandoned lime facility. There will be two sections that we will explore, the bottom half and the top half. It took us almost 2 hours to walk to the upper section of this place. There was once a town here with the name of Balfour, a town that was started at about the year of 1900 after a German settler had sold his land here. Whom he sold it to was a subsidiary company. The company was called the Balfour Guthrie Investment Group out of England. There would be delays for the development of Balfour town for a few years. There were legal restrictions for a foreign company to own a mining operation in the US. They were lucky enough to have that turned over by 1905. The master plan was to develop a town with housing of 700 houses for the workers. But to ensure no more legal troubles would come around, a new company was created. This would be known as Northwestern Portland Cement Company. A conveyor belt here would bring crushed limestone to trucks and railway. The material would be shipped out to a facility in Whatcom Harbor that was also managed by the Balfour Company. The company's peak of operation would occur during World War I with a workforce of 200 people. By that time, up to 40 houses were built. Every day, residents would work 2 shifts for the company. That was on the west side of the valley. By 1928, operations would move to the other side where we are currently standing. By the time all the structures were built, the company had ceased operations. The company was not making enough yield out of the rock that they were mining from the hillside. My curiosity was bursting at this point to see what was on top of this tower. As I was getting toward the top, I began to slow down considerably as I started thinking about the potential rust that could be coming apart here. Interesting of the hydraulic system they have here. It turns out that hydraulic-powered machinery goes as far back as 1800. This catwalk spans 150 feet, carrying the conveyor belt that would bring crushed limestone material. Considering that this is nearly 100 years old, I was amazed at how smooth these were still spinning. Here stands a wild John, very seldom captured on camera. My good friend Bobby was helping out with some of the video capture. By the way, if you're looking for new music, he's part of a band called Smooth Kiwi. You really should check him out. With more collective curiosity, we all began to think about crossing this catwalk.
Are we going for it, or?
Hang on for your life.
Small practical jokes aside, we began clenching our nerves and started walking across. I didn't think they had this level of wiring 100 years ago.
You think there's that?
With concerns of added weight, even though this was a big structure, I waited for Bobby and Mike to get to the other side. Standing 80 feet above the ground, my thighs were clenched and walking slowly. If by any chance anything was going to fall apart, I was going to keep my footing on the sides of the walkway.
Hell yeah. For sure. I almost brought the light, but I was just like, easily 80.
Having that portable light would have been absolutely necessary to get the exposure needed if we were going to walk up that tube. It certainly would have been pretty cool to check out. The earlier footage of this, I did not realize it was a gas pump, so I decided to stand it upright. We would be walking in 80-degree heat for the next hour and a half to 2 hours to get to this place. It's hard to believe that such a building out here is nearly 100 years old. You can see the aerial tram system that was installed here to ferry workers to the top of the mountain. The provided conditions were hazardous to the workers here. On top of that, a lot of the building material was laced with asbestos. This tall tower that stands proudly on top of the hill was the main spot to crush up limestone. It certainly looked like there was a lot of power controls. Looking around the belly of this building, we finally found access to the stairway that would lead to the top. The stairways available were nearly vertical. The primary function of this building was just to cover up the large machinery involved that crushed up limestone, with several points of access available in case any part of the machine broke. All the material mined would be deposited in this chute. This sure looks like an interesting master control console. Here's another angle of where the material simply was dumped. Fall into that grinder and work its way down into sizable material. A decent-sized maintenance building for the mining vehicles. What you are currently looking at is the Canadian border. The region of British Columbia is on the other side of that hill. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to keep up to date with the latest adventures I go on, be sure to click subscribe.